Welcome to Crystal's Bread. Today we're going to learn how to make sourdough cinnamon bun or cinnamon rolls. How exciting! We're adding egg, milk, and butter to the sourdough starter dough. Slows down the fermentation process. A long-waited time pays off because it gives the unique flavor to the cinnamon bun. It's a little bit slight soury taste and the texture is chewy. Let's learn how to make sourdough cinnamon bun. To make sourdough cinnamon bun, measure sourdough starter and add room temperature milk, melted butter, and room temperature egg. Mix it just enough to separate the bonds, gluten bonds, and starter. Add sugar and salt and the flour. If you're using mixer, measure everything, put it in a mixer and mix it well. If you mixing by hand, first cup of flours you measure by cup and add it one at a time. After that, half a cup at a time. We're trying to make nice, very soft dough. Once it's just enough to come out of side of the bowl, then we're going to put in a flat surface to knead it. To knead it, don't knead it too long. It's going to be too chewy. Just enough the gluten start to build, and then that's a good indication that you can let it rise in room temperature. So when you're kneading by hand, maybe about 5 minutes or so, not like making sourdough bread. And flour container, let it rise in room temperature since it's gonna take a long time to rise, maybe about 3 hours or so until it's doubled. If not doubled, at least a 3/4 size increased. Lots of flour on the flat surface. It's going to be sticky dough, but it's soft enough just to pull it. It's going to stretch, big rectangular shape. If your dough is a little stiff, you can use a rolling pin, but make sure very gently, make sure it's not stick to your rolling pin. So enough rectangular shape, 24 by 10. If you're dividing into 12, it's going to be 2-inch each. If it's 16 pieces, like 1.5-inch size. You can use melted butter or very soft butter, but when you're spreading the soft butter, not to push down, deflate the dough. I like to use lots of cinnamon, but whatever you prefer, you can follow the recipe or you can add more cinnamon, it's up to you. And roll it from the long side. Try not to stretch too much. Make sure you have enough flour. Otherwise, if it stick to the bottom when you're stretching, you might have a hole or it's get too thin. It's very soft dough. Again, I cannot impress it enough. To cut it, you can use a very sharp serrated knife. Sometimes it tends to stick to the knife. The best way to cut it, from my experience, is using a thick thread, or you can use a dental floss. Hold it, put it underneath, and then pull it opposite direction, and that's how you cut it. And I'm using 13 by 9 baking pan. You can use a round baking pan, pie pan, or you can put it on a baking sheet. There you go. Put it in a plastic bag or cover with a kitchen towel. Let it rise in room temperature 3 hours or so until it 2-3 hours until it's get nice and plump. Make sure turn oven 45 minutes to hour before baking, and bake in 25 minutes up to 30 minutes if needed, a little more. And here you are, nice golden brown golden color. Smells so good. And we're gonna cool it a little bit, not too cold, Meantime, prepare frosting, sugar powder. I'm using very tiny vanilla because my vanilla is a little too dark, turns the color. I want nice light white color of frosting. Mix it really well. When cinnamon roll is still nice and warm, when you spread the frosting, it goes between the rolls and all the creases and spreads very well and melts, the butter melts. Then spreading on a cold cinnamon rolls. It's going to be a little stiff. So there you go, how you spread it. Spread it every ups and downs and evenly. Looks so good. That's how you make sourdough cinnamon rolls. It just takes longer time. It's gonna be a little bit soury taste, and it's gonna be a little chewy and all the good stuff. There you go. Now you know how to make sourdough cinnamon rolls. Enjoy it.